Today I thought I'd talk a little bit about approaches to upcycling because and when I was learning to sew, the wisdom was that you did your mends so that they would be invisible, that the whole point of fixing something was to make it look tidy and proper again. This isn't always an option. There are things that can go wrong with a piece of clothing that mean that there is no way of doing an invisible mend, and if you've got to throw them out at that point, that's kind of tragic really, because there can be a lot of wear left in a garment that has taken serious damage or that has a serious problem with it. I've got very interested in the last 6 months or so in Japanese mending traditions that, rather than trying to hide the mend, highlight it and turn it into a decorative opportunity. And while I'm not working in that particular kind of style or tradition, it's something that's really caught my imagination. So I thought I would show you today some repairs that I've done where I've made no effort to hide that I'm repairing, but have instead tried to do something interesting with it. So the first is a jumper of mine that had simply gone in quite a big hole, and it's not the kind of fabric where you can pretend it hasn't gone in a hole, and it wasn't the sort of place where it would be easy to hide. It's right on the front here. So the centre of the flower is where I sewed up the actual hole itself, and then I simply did a little embroidery flower around it to turn it into something deliberate. I think it's kind of cute. This jumper is clearly going to develop more holes in the same vein. It's old and it's just gently falling apart, so every time it goes I can get in with the wool and add another flower. They'll come up in a slightly random way, which I'm looking forward to, and rather than being something that I have to give up on, this becomes kind of an interesting work in progress that might evolve over many years, so I'm quite excited about that. Project number 2, similar issues. Actually, I don't know why we make holes in our jumpers at this point. There may be some brown household issue here that we need to contemplate, but a jumper of Tom's that had again gone with a very prominent hole. So I started that one. I sewed around the edge to secure it because the wool was breaking down quite badly, and then I used the sewing stitches to crochet, and as I was crocheting a sort of a roundness appeared, and I thought, oh, hang on a minute, you're a body and you want to be a thing. So I gave it little sparkly eyes, and it is now a large and ridiculous spider. Tom is enough of a goth to appreciate a large black spider on his jumper, and enough of an oddball to think that this is fun, so yay. So that one was quite entertaining. Again, if the jumper carries on and does the same thing somewhere else, I can simply put another spider on it, so we'll see what happens. Project number 3 was very, very different. This is a fabric jacket, and what had happened is that for reasons that are frankly beyond me, it had taken a great deal of wear between the pocket and the base of the jacket, this area. It was scuffed. I couldn't patch it without it looking messy. The rest of the jacket has a great deal of wear in it and is in very good condition, apart from these areas at the base of the jacket where the scuffing had occurred. And it's present on both sides. So what I did with this one was to get in with the embroidery silk and just hit the places where the jacket had taken damage, and popped an attempt at embroidering cogs, because, you know, I'm going to wear this to steampunk events. So you can see their positioning is based entirely on where the worst of the wear is, and while they don't completely obfuscate it, they draw attention away from it. It's not as obvious that this is worn. There are still some wear patches in here. I don't know if you'll be able to see it if I bring it up close, but between those cogs there's still a slightly scuffy patch. So at some point when I've got some more gold or silver thread, I need to get in there and make more cogs. But in the meantime, the brightness of the yellow on the purple draws attention away from the fact that some of the purple down there is just a little bit more worn and sad than is optimal. And the cogs themselves do a great deal to hide the scuffing. This was not my jacket. I inherited it, and to keep it in use I have done silly things to its buttons. Again, there are scuff marks on the elbows. I didn't quite get all of them because they're a little bit lower, but I did that old traditional elbow patch thing, only I did them in 2 different colours. There's a crease across the back that didn't sit in the right place for me, couldn't get rid of, so I turned it into a waistband. I've covered that up. So there's a whole bunch of different things going on with this one, just to keep it lively, because there's a great deal of very wearable, good quality fabric in here, marred by scuffing. So it seemed like a good idea to sort of try and keep it wearable, and it's turned into something quite entertaining. I wore it out with the mumming side when we were out for the Stroud Wassail. It's a preposterous garment that I enjoy immensely. So I've had quite a lot of fun doing these things. My clothing is that bit sillier as a consequence, which is, as far as I'm concerned, a win. I mean, some days I like to just slim around in very dark and plain things, but I have my cravings for the preposterous, and this kind of fixing sort of answers that need to have something a bit out there and unusual that I can wear when I need to. So I've come to think of damage to clothing, holes, scuffs, worn out patches, not as a problem necessarily, but more as a kind of a creative opportunity to reimagine how a garment might work, to try new techniques on it, and to have some fun. And that's working very well for me. So I hope it's something you'll consider having a go at when you hit an item that is damaged or tired or sad or otherwise needs a bit of a rethink. So have fun with that.